Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening. Welcome back to the Fit Soul Podcast. I'm so grateful, truly grateful, that you join me here each week where we'll talk about strategies to up-level your life, your spiritual growth, your personal development, professional development, your health. And today we are talking about how to elevate your energy to stress less and live more. This is a really hot topic, and we live in a very stressful time in history. Our lives are filled with a lot of uncertainty, and sometimes in this stage of life, there's a lot of uncontrollables. If you're with me, I want you to just out loud say, yes, girl, yes, I hear you. And so today I want to share with you a framework to help you with elevating your energy. And we're not going to just talk about fitness and workout and the basics that you know. We're going to take it to another level. So if you are new to this podcast, I just want to say a big welcome. Well, I'm grateful that you're here. And I am I'm a follower of Jesus. I am a believer, and it's my heart to follow him and to use my voice as a vessel. I was so stuck in trauma and pain and heartache that I just literally was kind of in survival mode. And I found my freedom and liberty truly through the work of the Spirit, but also through learning how to change my mind and my thoughts and my habits. And I found freedom on the other side. And that's what's available for all of us, is that freedom on the other side. And so I come to you today first as a follower of Jesus, just someone who's really cheering you on and wants you to experience this liberty and freedom. But I also come with expertise. So I'm a certified high-performance coach. I'm also a certified Christian life coach, and I've been in the fitness, nutrition, health, and wellness space for over 25 years. So I bring my background of the things that I know that we need to change, the science of change, but first with a heart for Jesus and his word. Okay, so with that being said, let's just dive right in. And what I want you to do is just kind of take an assessment right now of maybe your own current level of stress. And how stressed are you? How do you feel? What is the main emotion that you feel during the day? Just kind of think about your day. How do you feel during the day? And you don't have to just go to, oh, I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel like all of the positive emotions that we want to feel. Be honest with yourself. Actually, how are you feeling during the day, during the evening? And how is the stress in your life? The effects of stress on the body are huge, okay? It causes hormonal imbalance. And for those of us that are over 40, which most of you are when you're listening to this podcast, it exacerbates the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. No. It also increases the risk of cardiovascular issues, digestive issues. And when we have a lot of stress, there's a higher susceptibility to anxiety, depression, also cognitive decline. It disrupts our sleep patterns and it causes sleep disturbances. I had that happen in the middle of the night. I was up, worried about a very stressful situation in my life, and I just was trying to release it and let it go and go back to sleep. I know you could know that, you know that feeling, right? Check this out. With elevated stress, it also elevates the risk of chronic health conditions, hypertension, diabetes, autoimmune disorders. It can put a strain and stress on our relationships with our spouse, our partner, children, or family members. And it also decreases resilience and the ability to cope with stressors. So this is a really hot topic. And today I want to give you tangibles. I want to give you takeaways. I want to give you some action-oriented strategies that you can put into place today. What is meant for you on this podcast today is the things that I would love for you to go and start to implement. What is not meant for you is to be overwhelmed by so many options that you don't implement any. So as you're listening, I just wanted to say that on the forefront, because as you're listening, what I would love for you to do is to actually consider, okay, how can I implement these things? And okay, well, now I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed by all these suggestions. So let me do, and maybe pick, I want to say 3 things to implement, but if that feels overwhelming for you, pick 1 thing. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I would like for you to consider, in fact, even write this down, is when you're thinking about your energy and how to elevate your energy, I want you to consider the things in your life that you can control and the things in your life that you cannot control. You know, I refer to this a lot as, what do you have agency over? And so we're going to call this our controllables versus our uncontrollables. And so when we're looking at our life holistically and kind of integratively, we need to understand the difference of the things that we have agency over and the things that we don't. Knowing that difference is very important. And then being able to develop a strategy around your controllables and then also your uncontrollables. And we're going to talk about that more here in just a minute. But the first part of this framework is, number 1 is foundational. So you can write that down, foundational. Get back to the basics. So I'm going to share a host of things that are not going to be uncommon to you. You probably already know it. However, what I'm going to ask you before I even start to read it out is, am I actually practicing these things in my life? Have I let it go by the wayside, or has it gotten a little bit maybe dormant or commonplace? Because here's the thing, common knowledge is not common practice. Common knowledge is not common practice. So number 1, back to the basics. One of the best ways you can elevate your energy is a genuine gratitude practice. I was coaching a client this week and we were talking about this very thing. She's struggling with a lot of balls in the air, trying to juggle a lot of responsibility, a lot of things, including managing health, some major life changes coming up, some major life events, and there's just a lot going on. And when we were talking about gratitude, and she's like, yeah, you know what? I've kind of gotten away from that practice. And I know in my own life, I'll slip away from it. And what happens when we slip away from it, our energy starts to drain a little bit with it. I mean, think about that. There's an energy behind a true grateful heart. But our hearts aren't grateful naturally. We can condition it to be more grateful, but the way that negative bias works on the brain is that we actually end up being a little bit on that negative side. Some people more than others. That's what science shows us. But that's for all of us. So let me ask you this. How is your gratitude practice? Genuine gratitude practice. Let's up level wherever it is right now and be genuinely grateful. Really working on looking for the good, training our minds. The world can cause us to be cynical, and that is definitely going to deplete your energy. So let's be different. Let's be the different women. Let's see the good, give the benefit of the doubt. Look out in nature, see the beauty, recognize the beauty. Good things, wonderful things are happening all around you. But if you're not looking for it, you will miss it. Along with an attitude that's going to be less than energizing. Okay, so several ways you can practice gratitude. Number one, just be thankful. But I'm going to encourage you to genuinely write down gratitude and just focus on this as a practice and look for ways that you can be more grateful, utilizing your voice and utilizing words to it. I think sometimes we think things, but it's really amazing because our words have power when we actually speak things. So that's definitely a controllable. We can control that. So I'm calling this foundations. I'm going to go through a few other things and just kind of go through a little bit more quickly. I wanted to just stay on gratitude for just a minute because it's that powerful. And I just want you to practice your gratitude, up-level that, wherever it is, whatever your practice is right now. Go ahead and take that up a notch. Okay, your health. I know you know about your health, and that's going to contribute to your energy. But here's what I'm just going to encourage you to do is, number one, work out harder. Take your workouts seriously. I did a podcast several weeks ago, and I just called it Double Down. I just started doubling down on the things that I know to do. It really made a difference. It made a difference in my workouts and in my nutrition. And I heard from a lot of you too. Several of you just messaged me, double down, double down, double down. I love it. And just that simple mindset shift of, no, I can double down on the things that I already know. So let me just kind of quickly give you the double down. Double down on your workouts. Work out harder. Like go hard. Get it done. Don't dial it in. And if you're not working out, you need to be. Your body needs you to be working out. If you are sedentary, if your steps are less than 5,000 a day, that's considered more sedentary, that 3,000 to 5,000 mark. And I work with a lot of women to help them lose fat in midlife and in perimenopause and menopause. And one of the common things that I started to notice was sedentary lifestyles. So don't be sedentary. Get up, get moving. Okay, protein. Prioritize protein. Make sure you're getting your protein in. If you need some help around exactly what you need for your body, for your age, I work one-on-one. I'm taking some one-on-one clients now, and we can focus on health and wellness. But for the most part, just kind of think about it like this. You need at least 100 grams of protein a day. And I'd like for you to break that up into 3 different times a day and front load your protein, okay? Super important. Your hydration. I know, but are you properly hydrating? Making sure you're getting some good electrolytes in with your water. Whole foods, a whole food diet, really crowding out processed foods and focusing on that whole food nutrition. This makes a difference. Okay, moving on. Here's some other things, just back to basics. We're still in our foundations. And these are our controllables, right? Is breath work. Breath work is powerful for lowering stress. Box breathing. You can Google some of these things, but just the simplest version of this is to slow down. Take a deep breath in, hold it. Slow exhale. Hold it. Breath work. It is the simplest thing to do. You can do it when you're stressed out driving. There's a lot of traffic sitting in your car. What happens is this takes you out of your sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight, and it literally, slowing down your breath, takes you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest or digest. So many things happen physiologically when you just slow down. It's remarkable. So simple. Again, this is a controllable. We're calling this a foundation for you fighting stress and getting back into a better place of energy, elevating your energy. Okay, breath work. Another one. I know I've talked about it a lot on this podcast, but it has truly helped to change my life. In fact, you know what? I'll put the other podcast on here. I did one with my friend, Deborah Leiter, and we talked about morning sunlight. So this is really setting your circadian rhythm. Getting proper sleep is so important, and there's a real connection with the sunlight, the circadian rhythm, and melatonin, serotonin in your brain and what that looks like. So if you would step out when that sun starts to rise, get outside, even better yet, stick your feet in the ground for just a minute. Again, this is controllable, right? And ground yourself. There's electrons, there's neutrons, there's protons, there's things floating in the air first thing in the morning that it's literally effortless energy. You don't have to do anything for it. But the things that it's doing inside your body and in your brain are powerful. So I know it sounds a little woo-woo, but it's just not. It's the way that God made this earth and world. It's really beautiful. Okay, the other thing I have on here, and of course there's more. This isn't a comprehensive list, but these are just kind of some quick thoughts for us, is two more things. Number one is a morning routine. That's another thing. Are you starting off your morning frazzled and hurried and running out the door? Or are you starting out your morning with a morning routine? I've got a free morning routine. I'm going to put that link in the show notes here. And it's win your morning, win the day. And so starting with gratitude, starting with scripture, starting with prayer, starting with surrendering things over to God, starting from that place in the morning and with setting intention for the day will absolutely change your day. And if you're not, I assume, I have been doing a morning routine, gracious, over 30 years. I would even say longer than that. It's just part of my lifestyle. I will fight for it. If we're going early somewhere in the morning, like really, really early, I will get up even earlier. I just want that solitude. I want that alone time with the Lord. It centers me and it sets the tone for my day. So fight for that. Get your butt up out of bed. Don't hit that alarm. Get on up. Get that quiet time in. It will make a difference for your day. You will win your day. It will elevate your energy and decrease your stress. So those are controllables. Those are our controllables. We can control those things. I've got several. I think I'm going to break this into two parts, this podcast, because the other things that I want to talk about, I just want to expound upon them just a little bit. So we're going to get to part two to the second step of the framework. So this is foundations is number one, get back to the basics. Number two is assess your fatigue. Assess how tired are you? Or how energetic are you? So let me ask a few things. How energetic are you emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually? Let's go ahead and throw socially in there. How energetic are you? How tired are you? Just be really real with yourself. The first step to any part of change is always awareness, that recognition. We can't change what we don't even know is going on. So how tired are you emotionally? If you've got a lot of big, heavy things going on, it will wear you out. How about mentally? Are you at a place where you're making constant decisions and mentally you're fatigued? Did you know that we can actually even be fatigued mentally just by, I kind of want to go back to the controllables versus the uncontrollables. One of the things that makes us really tired mentally is our cell phones. And most of us are addicted to our cell phones in some way. So I'm coming to you with the true battle struggle in trying to beat my own addiction to my cell phones. But when we scroll, and here's another thing, here's a controllable. Don't get on your phone within an hour of waking. Put that sucker somewhere else. If you're real, I can't really keep mine next to me. I just put it somewhere else. In fact, I love like the Bible app for devotions. And I found that, man, it was just too much of a temptation. So I personally can't keep my phone close to me in the morning when I get up. I just wait. So I want to encourage you to develop that practice if that's not one. That is a controllable. And when we are searching on websites, social media, email, what happens is your brain is in a constant state of making a decision. Do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I push like? Do I make a comment? Do I keep scrolling? Emails. You're giving somebody else's priorities above your own. Even the decision of, do I delete this? Do I respond to this? Oh, I don't have time to respond to this. I'm going to respond to this later. Oh, I have to remember that. Do you see how that is energy? That's your mental energy. So one of the things is to really get really clear, and this is going to help you move forward, is understand how some of your habits are contributing to your mental energy. And what you can do, which is going to be the next point, and we'll just discuss this next week, is to create that habit of focus. Focus is going to be the next one. But is to just understand. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, I understand this. And still, engineers, the world's smartest people, have designed our cell phones to keep us on them and to keep us wanting to check what's next. You're not alone in this addiction, but I just want to say that let's make improvement in this area so you can stress less and live more fully in your life, to be more present in your life. I know that's what you want. I definitely know that's what I want in my life. Okay, the other thing is emotionally. How are you feeling energetically, emotionally? If you are and let's go ahead and couple with this spiritually. How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling energized spiritually? One of the things that I know is that when we're walking through a chronic hard season, maybe you've been walking through a long hard season. I am, personally. And after a while, what happens is that even if I'm feeling strong and I'm being vigilant in my prayer and in my faith, is that after a while, a warrior can't fight all the time. A warrior needs a rest and needs a break. And so when you're analyzing spiritually, how am I feeling energetically? How am I feeling emotionally? How am I feeling energetic emotionally? I want you to take an assessment of what's going on in your life. In long, hard battles, can cause us to feel really exhausted. And this is where let's go back to thinking about what are our controllables and what are our uncontrollables. So, what are the things that boost your energy and what are the things that are depleting your energy? So in your life, I want you to think about that. I like to break things up into categories. My brain works better that way. And so here's what I want you to do. Almost envision 4 different buckets. Okay, you've got 4 different buckets. And one is your spirituality. That's our faith. That's for us. If you're listening to this podcast, that's the most important thing in your life is your faith, your relationship with God. And then second, let's put emotionally. That second bucket is the emotional bucket. Third bucket is mental, your mindset, your thoughts. And that last bucket is going to be your physical, your health, your wellness. Okay. For you to take a integrative approach to your life, you really need to be thinking about all of these areas of your life. So spiritually, what are the things that boost your energy? And what are the things that deplete your energy? Emotionally, what are the things that boost your energy? What are the things that deplete your energy? Same thing with your mindset. What are the things that recharge your energy, boost your energy, give you that sense of joy? And mindset, what are the things that are depleting your energy? Your inner critic, negative mindsets, maybe even words from someone else. That's going to be more emotional. I recently had somebody that just had a surprising response to something. I was just really, it took me by surprise. Have you ever had that where somebody says something and you're just shocked? Like, oh my gosh. And as much as you kind of want to brace for a punch, this one came from nowhere and it's like a whammy. It's like, what just happened? I'm just surprised at that person. And I'm surprised that they would do that, say that, think that, treat someone like this, treat me like that. And it's like this whammy. And there's no way to brace for it. That's the depleting emotionally, right? And then what charges you emotionally? Connections, deep connections, meaningful connections, nature. Nature, that is a controllable. I just want to say right now, as we're talking about fatigue and assessing our fatigue, is get out in nature. I should have put that in our controllables, in that foundation. Get outside, go for a walk. It's magic to your brain and to your body and to your spirit, all of the above. Get outside. Get outside more. Get off of devices. Get outside more. Okay, so as you're thinking about what is the things that boost my energy, what are the things that deplete my energy, what I want you to start to do, I want you to bring awareness to this. And of the things that are depleting your energy, I want you to attach a level of 1 to 10 on your reactions, a scale of 1 to 10. And here's the thing. Most people live in a place of reaction to a level 10 at all things in their life. And that is exhausting. And so just opening this up to some awareness for yourself of what and how am I, what level am I placing on situations and circumstances in my life, especially the uncontrollables. Most people live at that level 10 and they're barely treading water. They stay at a place of overwhelm. And so a lot of what we talk about in Walkworthy mentorship that is my group coaching for women. We talk about how do we build emotional strength, mental strength in our lives. How do we build more resiliency? How do we place less energy and be more proactive with our energy, with our uncontrollables. We have a lot of uncontrollables in our lives, a lot of circumstances, right? And with the things that we can't control, how can I then, number one, build more faith and trust in God and know that He's sovereign and that He's got it? And then also, number two, develop more emotional control. To actually understand, I don't have to assign a negative emotion when there's a surprise, when things don't go my way, big things or even just small things during the day. I actually don't have to assign a level 10 or a negative emotion to it. So building that faith, how do we interpret an event? How can we rebound quicker? Remember, we're growing in this spiritual, emotional, mental strength. How can we pivot? How can we have agility? How can we course correct? How can we get back on track quicker? And number two, have more emotional control. How can we raise awareness? It's that awareness key is number one. Number two, how can we decide? Let's decide what level of energy this particular circumstance requires. The house is burning. That would definitely be a level 10, right? But there's few of those. So how can we start to mitigate our energy differently? I hope this is making sense. Is this making sense for you? It's really powerful. I know it's kind of deep, but it's super powerful. And I promise you, here's the thing. This is a practice. This is a practice that you build. It's kind of like exercising and building muscle in your body. We know that we're going to build more muscle when we have more protein in our body, and that's why we prioritize protein. Also, when we're doing strength training, and we know that we build it slowly over time. Same thing here. This is a practice, and by bringing this awareness to it and doing the work, here's the thing: you got to do this work. This is the work that I coach my ladies on. I give them daily motivation and inspiration to actually take this and grow. To grow personally, grow spiritually, to grow in their resilience. You being resilient in your life, you're going to be stronger. And this is what God's calling us to be. He says, be strong, be courageous. And when we're allowing life to just happen to us, the outcome's not so great. When we're on autopilot and we're completely distracted and we're living in, really it's a place of a survival mode, that's not the life that God has for us. He's called for us. He's given us abundant, thriving life, but it takes intentionality. And so I know this was kind of a lot. Let me wrap up just some of what we talked about, and we're going to continue with this part 2 next week. So to elevate your energy, to stress less, to live more, to really mitigate the effects of stress on our body, we want to control know our differences between our controllables and our uncontrollables, and I want you to develop a strategy for your life. We know that sometimes in life, there's some seasons are more intense than others. So get back to the basics, double down on the things that you do know to do. Up-level your gratitude, up-level your protein, your hydration, eat your whole foods, crowd out the processed foods out of your diet. Really take your health as your wealth, right? Breath work, so simple. Get back in the parasympathetic nervous system. Your body wasn't intended to go at fight or flight all the time. Morning sunlight, there's bonus. That's lagniappe right there. Set your daily intentions. Win your morning, win the day. Really establish that morning routine. The second part that we've talked about here is assessing your fatigue level mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. and learning how to develop a practice around your ability to build emotional control and resilience. Becoming aware, decide your emotion and also your energy, and then determining how much energy you're going to put on the uncontrollables. Reclaim your power back. This is one of the ways that you're going to do it. And I'm just going to wrap up with this just a little bit, and I'll continue talking about this next week, but prioritizing any energy preservation during hard times. I mentioned earlier, like if you're going through a long battle or you have a very big event coming up, or a life event, or something heavy, and it's requiring a lot of your emotional and mental. Learning how to really protect and preserve your energy is going to be so crucial. Okay, we're going to continue with this next week. I love this conversation. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I want to hear your biggest takeaways. I want to hear how you're going to build more resiliency in your life. This is such a powerful thing for you to really elevate your energy, and would love to hear from you. Would love for you to screenshot this, download this episode, screenshot it, throw it in your stories, tag me, and let me know what you think. Okay, well, I will see you. We'll continue this conversation next Tuesday, and have an incredible day. Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time, bye-bye.